Hey guys, happy Monday morning. Happy Raleigh Regional Bridge Week. I hope that everybody is planning to come out to the North Raleigh Hilton and play a bunch this week. Live regionals are super fun, and once every 2 years, Raleigh gets its chance to host a regional. So I hope that I'll see a lot of you listeners there. This morning, I logged on to BBO and noticed that I had a note from partner and patron member Collins Williams about a hand that we played last week. And Collins, if I go up to my messages here, just said, if you want to use the negative 790 for a video for reasoning on defense, please do. So, sounds like an excellent idea. Let's take apart, do an autopsy of a hand that Collins and I defended last week. Just as an anecdote, a silly anecdote, my license plate used to be North Carolina minus 790. That came from when I was first playing bridge. I really like to double. Like, I still like to double, but my partner John Markey gave me the nickname minus 790, and it stuck a little bit. Like, I still use it sometimes on poker sites as my handle. But anyway, let's talk about minus 790 today. So we're going to go to the history tab. This is going to be a thinking on defense video. Okay. So we're going to find, this is from Open Pairs Wednesday, ACBL. You'll see Collins and I had a really nice score of 67.34%. Overall, it was second place out of 174. And you'll see that we were about 2.5% off of first place overall. At the end of this video, we'll see if we can figure out whether the 790, whether we could have gained that 2.5% on this board. So let's go to the video. We're going to pull up a tab with this hand. And the way we're going to do that is we highlight board 4. We go to this ladder or hamburger, whatever you want to think of it as. Hit export, do a hand viewer link, and then it's going to give us a new tab up here. And we'll move this to here and talk about the hand. All right. We'll go through it as a bidding exercise first. It was 2 passes, east and south both passed. And I opened the west hand 2 hearts, not 1. I figured there was almost no way we could have a game at this point. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on the maximum pressure. I don't really care if partner thinks I have a preemptive hand or an opening hand. Since we can't really have enough stuff for game, I figured that the object on this deal was more eat up bidding space for them than it was worried about getting to a game for us. And that's because partner is already a passed hand. So I opened 2 hearts. I think in first or second chair, I just opened 1 heart. In fourth chair, I might just pass because I don't meet the rule of 15. But I went 2 hearts. North has a pretty textbook takeout double of 2 hearts. So he doubled definitely for takeout. Collins raised 4 hearts since he's got 4 trump. Not sure at this vulnerability that I'm in love with that. This is something I'd say is a little bit different between Collins and me, style-wise perhaps, is that Collins pretty routinely raises to the number of trump that we have and trusts that that's the right thing to do, whereas I'm a little more dubious sometimes. And not saying I have a great track record on this necessarily or anything, but generally Collins' style is that he raises to the number of trumps that the partnership has, and he has a little less regard for vulnerability than I might have. So I think he would do this anytime he has 4 trumps, particularly in retrospect here. He does have kind of a flat hand, but he raised to 4 hearts, south bid 4 spades. That looks right since you're 6-4-2-1, and you're not bidding 5 diamonds just because that's a level higher, and it's a suit that North is less likely to have. If North has a flawed hand, he is more likely to have like an off shape hand without real diamond support than he is to make a takeout double without real spade support. So that's why we're bidding 4 spades here rather than 5 diamonds. Okay. And I think actually do they take the same number of tricks? Well, they'd both be down 1, right? Diamonds takes 10 tricks and spades takes 9 tricks. The reason that spades takes 9 is because we're going to get a diamond rough in a spade contract. So that's the contract. I went ahead and doubled as West because I felt like it might be right to keep on bidding, and particularly because I have An ace on the outside. I have king, queen, sixth of my suit. I have maybe a better hand than partner necessarily imagines that I have. And I also have an odd number of spades here. I have 3 spades. And it certainly sounds to me like the opponents are bidding 4 spades, at least somewhat based on shape, right? South couldn't open the bidding. Who knows if North has extras for his takeout double. I've got an 11 count, and my partner has something that he felt reasonably comfortable raising to 4 red. So it looks to me like the high card points might be split about equally. Anyway, I said I liked the fact that I had an odd number of spades. If I reason that the opponents are bidding mainly on shape, that means that they rate to have more spades than they might have. And the more spades they have, the better it is in a heart contract for one of us to have an odd number of spades. Like obviously, if I'm looking at a singleton spade, that's good because I know that the defense only has 1 spade winner. And if I'm looking at 3, I can apply the reasoning the opposite way around. Like the more spades I have, the fewer that partner rates to have. So it certainly sounds like they're bidding on 9 spades, and I've got 3 of them. I can project that partner is likely to have a singleton. You'll see that this time he didn't. In fact, he's got a very chunky defensive spade holding with king 10. It's doing us only a half a trick of good on offense, and it's actually worth a little bit more than a trick, as it turns out, on defense here. So I was surprised that he actually had, this flat of hand and king 10 of their trump suit. But anyway, this is all the reasoning that made me think it might be right to bid again. I doubled. I can't really have a pure penalty double of spades for having opened 2 hearts. My double is more like I'm thinking about bidding 5 hearts, but I figured I'd double instead of doing that, just in case it looks to you like we should be leaving the double in. And I'll let you decide based on your shape whether we should be doubling 4 spades or bidding 5 hearts. So Collins left it in. That's fine. You'll see from down here that 5 hearts would have been down 1 on optimal defense and declare play, and that 4 spades is down 1 also. And that 4 spades is in fact the par score, right? Because East-West can make 4 hearts. We did that. North-South can do better to bid 4 spades because it's not going to get penalized as much as the value of the 4 heart game. And then the only thing left for us to do to achieve equilibrium, par, is to double 4 spades since it's going down, get our 200. Now, to the matter of how are we going to get our tricks? Well, as West, I led the 3 of diamonds. Let's see. How do we do this? Okay, there we go. I led the 3 of diamonds. That looks totally normal. Anytime your partner preempts and leads a side suit, there should be flashing lights singleton. And those flashing lights are available as declare also. Okay, so as declare and they lead the 3 of diamonds, I'm thinking like, well, I'm only missing the jack 3 too for one thing, right? The only things consistent with the 3 being led are that he's got a singleton 3 or a doubleton 3-2, but the fact that he preempted and then doubled and then led this makes it like dollars to donuts that 3 of diamonds is a singleton. So if we're looking at the tricks from declare's perspective, and like you can look at all 4 hands here and let's figure out who's got what. Let's pretend that the cards are on the table and we can defend and declare however we want to. We have 6 diamond winners. We have 3 spade winners, right? We can lead to the ace and then back towards the queen, and then we're going to have a long spade, right? So 6 diamonds, 3 spades, the ace of hearts, and that's all the tricks, right? We have 10 tricks. But if we look at losers, we've got 2 small clubs, the king of spades, and they're going to be able to rough away one of our diamond tricks. So it looks like the defense has 4, we have 10. When those 2 numbers don't add to 13, it's a race hand. It's a hand where the defense needs to get active. And the particular way that the defense needs to get active here is to give a diamond rough at some point. Okay, so this just becomes a defensive hand from East perspective, and I want to walk you through his reasoning. When the 3 of diamonds is led, we're playing 3rd and 5th leads. Like I told you, if partner preempts and leads a side suit, the first thing that should be flashing in your mind is that it's a singleton. Well, if it's a singleton and my partner opened 2 hearts, ostensibly with 6, what that means is declare has 6 diamonds and a singleton heart, right? Declare or partner has 6 hearts. I have 4. Dummy has 2. So 6 diamonds, a singleton heart, and surely he's got at least 4 spades for this 4 spade call, right? Which would leave him with 2 clubs. Okay, we're going to keep that in mind. We're going to think about this later. I believe Declare played the 10 of diamonds or the 9 of diamonds from dummy at trick 1. It's really no use playing the jack here. Like you don't have any tricks in the suit. And what you want to do sometimes when partner leads a known singleton and you've got an entry, and here it's very likely that we do have an entry in the king of clubs, right? We'll get to that in just a second. But what we might want to do instead of playing the jack of diamonds here on power, which we just know is going to lose to the queen, or even, even if somehow partner had queen third, that doesn't make any sense, right? Declare wouldn't have played small from the dummy. So we know that Declare's got the queen. The jack is just dead. Therefore, our cards can be used to suit preference. And if we wanted to give a suit preference signal playing standard suit preference, we would play the 2 here, suggesting that we have a club entry. So a couple of things there you might say is like, well, why is this suit preference? And I would say, because partner's next problem is likely to be that he needs to know where your entry is. And we don't need this trick for building up diamond trick purposes. Like it doesn't matter whether I play the jack or the 2. Therefore, I can maybe anticipate partner's next problem. Like if he gets in first, hey, how do I get to your hand so that you can give me a diamond rough? And we might play the 2 in that situation, right? Now, the second thing you might pick at me at for that is, well, you only have the king of clubs. You don't have the ace of clubs. Why are we signaling that we've got a club entry potentially? Well, first of all, I certainly don't have a heart entry. Okay, that's the only other way that partner might be trying to get to my hand. And I've got the 10 as my highest heart below the dummy's jack. So that's not going to work. The second thing is partner almost surely has the ace of clubs for his double, right? He doubled 4 spades out of the blue. We know that he wouldn't be doubling just based on like ace, king, queen, 6th of hearts, right? That's not necessarily taking any tricks. Like for all West knows, South or North might have a heart void. So he can hardly be doubling on the defense of his ace, king, queen, however good his hearts are. Which means that if I'm looking at the king, queen of clubs, he's almost got to have the ace, right? And we know his trumps aren't great. We've got king and 1, the dummy's got ace 4th. So we can basically mentally assign partner the ace of clubs here. Otherwise, he has no business at all doubling 4 spades, right? So we can mentally project that card into partner's hand. Therefore, our king of clubs will work as an entry. And even if we didn't have that assurance, the partner had the ace of clubs, you can signal the king or the ace of clubs here on defense. If Declare's got the ace of clubs and partner leads to your king, so what? You've either built up a club trick for partner's queen, or if Declare had the ace queen the whole time, it's finessable. Okay, so you can feel free to signal an entry with one of the 2 higher cards in the suit is a long-winded way of saying what I just said. Rewind a couple of steps. I'm not sure if Collins was just playing the jack here because it beats the 9, or because he was giving suit preference, but a weird thing that Collins and I do is that we play upside down suit preference, which meant that to give a suit preference signal here for clubs, he would actually play the jack. That's what he did. And Declare won the queen. And from Declare's perspective at this point, there's nothing to do except play the trumps in a normal fashion and hope that we don't find that diamond rough. Okay. So it went spade to the ace, spade back. Collins wins the king per force. Everything looks pretty normal so far. And Collins gives me my rough. And you might say at this point, like, okay, what's the big deal? You just cashed 2 clubs and beat the contract, right? But from my perspective, I don't necessarily know where Collins' entry is, right? I'm not sure whether that jack at trick 1 was a suit preference signal, whether it was just that he had the queen and the jack. That can't be true. Declare won the queen. The jack probably should be a suit preference signal for clubs. The 2 coming back maybe should scream hearts if that's the suit preference signal. Like I'm not on sure footing here as to what card was what signal. And I have some vague concept that we're playing upside down, but I'm still not exactly sure as West here what I'm supposed to return, because it does matter. North-South has 2 tricks at this point. They've got 4 diamonds ready to go. They've got the ace of hearts, and they've got 2 trumps, right? So they've got enough tricks for their contract at this point. They can rough a club in the dummy, right, after they pitch clubs on diamonds. So we're in a point here where North-South has got enough tricks set up to make the contract, and we need to cash our tricks in the right order. So I need at this point to guess right to lead a club, and we would beat it. Unfortunately, what I did was played a heart. Declare can win that, unblock the diamonds, rough a heart back to hand, and now he plays the 8-7 of diamonds to pitch 2 club losers from the board, making 4 for 790. Let's rewind and forget a second about all this suit preference stuff. So let's just play bridge for a second. And let's be at the point where Collins won the king of spades. So we've played a spade to the ace and a spade back to the king. And if we remember what Collins reasoned about our hand initially, is that we must have 3 spades, 6 hearts, a diamond, and 3 clubs. And from his perspective, what that means is Declare's remaining shape is exactly as it's shown at this point. 2 spades, 1 heart, 4 diamonds, 2 clubs. Now Collins knows that we need 3 tricks, and he's not sure who's got the heart ace, but what he is sure of, based on the count in the other suits, is that 2 clubs will cash, all right, and that we have the ace of clubs. If West doesn't have the ace of clubs, we're never beating this anyway. So what the safest thing for East to do at this point, this is the whole point of all this reasoning, is that we get to this point, we do what's called building a fence for partner, which means not leaving him a losing option on defense. What Collins actually should do at this point is go ahead and cash the king of clubs from his hand and the queen of clubs from his hand. Partner, I know that it's right to cash clubs because of the reasoning that's based on the auction, bridge logic, and your lead. He cashes the 2 clubs from his hand first, now gives the diamond rough. We've beat it 1 at this point. And now if I've got the ace of hearts, I'll cash it. And if I don't, we're done taking tricks. But it's important to picture Declare's hand such that if you know what the correct defense is, if you can reason out what the correct defense is and see a way to do it, it's your responsibility to build a fence for partner and make sure that there's no ambiguity as to how the defense continues. Even if you feel like you've signaled it right, don't put this out there as a test for partner to see if he can get right or see if he's good at flipping coins. You take control of the defense, build a fence is what it's called, and you make sure that you get your side 200 here instead of minus 790. So I said that we would torture ourselves by looking at what plus 200 would have been. So if we go to results, nope. Now let's go to other tables on this. So it looks like what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14. Man, there's a lot of people play this hand. So let's just say 200 would have been worth 50%, it looks like. Minus 790 was worth 2%. So 2 from 50 is 48. We played, how many boards? 18? Is that right? Yeah, we played 18 boards. 18 into 48 is 2 2/3. And if we'd added 2 2/3 to our percentage, ultimately it looks like that would have been just barely enough to win this thing overall and finish first out of 174. So that's too bad. And that's a masochist way of reviewing a hand and saying, oh yeah, it cost us first place. That's too bad. Anyway, I guess this got a little bit long-winded. The fact of the matter is, like, to walk you through all the points on defense takes a little bit of time sometimes. So not everything is about 5 and 10 minute tidbits, I suppose. We all can't be living in TikTok universe. But I hope that you see the beauty in the reasoning that's available to defeat a hand like this and can at least grasp the principle that if you see a defense that's right and you can take over the defense, It is your job to take over, build a fence for partner, make sure you get that plus 200 instead of that minus 790. And yeah, that's the defense for today. Thought this is a really good hand. Thank you for the suggestion and the permission from Collins to make a video about this. So this will be the last video for the week, probably. I do hope to see everybody a lot at the Raleigh Regional this week, playing some live bridge, playing some tournament bridge, and supporting our opportunity to have a regional. Anyway, hope all you guys are well and still enjoying the bridge videos and still looking to get better and win and have fun, all that good stuff. Happy Memorial Day week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed this video on building a fence on defense for partner. Talk to you guys soon.